Hello, this is Yayoi Komiyama from Brain to Belly, and welcome to the Spanglish World Networks on Zingo TV, channels 250 and 251. Please remember to download both the Zingo TV app and the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. And while you download, please make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free. Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV sticks, Roku and Roku sticks, and also on all smart TVs 2016 and forward. So today, everyone, I have a special guest. His name is Tyree Whitworth, and he is a published author, and he has a very compelling story. And he has just recently published a book called Entangled Desires. Now, from the title alone, it sounds like a romance novel, and I think it's under the romance genre, correct, Tyree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. And so I am very curious to find out more about Tyree. I had actually watched an interview that he was on and was very impressed and inspired. So, oh, and our friend Eric is on saying hi.
Morning,
So,
Eric.
good morning, Eric. Thank you for watching. So, Tyree, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you, where you are from, and where are you, and about your book.
Well, my name is Tyree Whitworth, uh, published author as of October 1st. It's been a great accomplishment and a long time coming. Originally from Brooklyn, born in Queens,
Oh, okay.
but raised between New York and the DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Okay.
A little bit about me. I started writing this book specifically because I don't like where society has strayed to. Relationships nowadays have become very complicated.
Yes.
I've been in the hospitality industry for 20 years, and I see people come out, and I mean older people who come out and they've been together for 40 and 50 years. And I'm like, I wish this generation really wanted that.
Mm.
So this book depicts how I see what
Mhm.
society has become, where you
Yeah.
can be together for 4 to 7 years, and from there you feel like you're just content, you get bored, and then something new exciting comes along, and that's where you want to lay your head. But people don't realize grass is not always greener on the other side.
That's so true. Yes. Wow. Yeah, that's so true. And you're right about that. It's very rare to even meet kids whose parents are together, still together. Um, and when I talk to people, it's very rare to find people that have been married for more than 20 years, or yeah, it's very rare to see that. And it's sad, actually.
It is. It's very sad because all it does is hurt the next generation. Now, me,
Yes.
I have two kids. One
Congratulations.
is, thank you. One is about to be one in a couple of days, and the other is 9.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And my older one is actually from a previous relationship, and I
Hmm.
am a full time father.
Wow. Hmm.
But the dynamics of the household that I have
Yeah.
is we're going to stay together. And, you know, if something gets boring,
Hmm.
then there's ways to excite the
Yes.
relationship, but people don't want to work. And it only got worse after COVID. People don't want to work. People don't want things easier. And it's just like, if life was easy, I think we'd all be rich,
Yeah. You're right.
but it's not. You have to work for what you want.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you want that relationship to work, then you have to work at it. And if you
Yeah.
don't, then you might as well just be single and let people know that, hey, I'm not looking for anything. But
Mm-hmm.
instead, the men, and I'm going to get on my men, they're out here having kids by multiple different women,
Yes.
and they're not looking for the relationship. They're looking for the fun.
Yeah.
And then that just leaves the household completely broken because you're not in the household.
Right. Exactly. That's so true. That's so true. And you see so many people like that these days, so many kids like that. Um, and it's heartbreaking to see sometimes, or it's heartbreaking even when somebody says, "Oh, but my dad doesn't live with me," or "My dad doesn't," yeah. And well, from my generation's like way different from yours. So um, I'm at the tail end of baby boomer. So okay, you could see, how long ago that was. Um, but I mean, my generation, I was the norm was you had both parents in the family. All my classmates, had I think there was only one girl whose father passed away, so she didn't have a father, but that was it. Everyone
Right.
else, the parents were together, and that was the norm in my generation, the older generation. But um, but I noticed, even nowadays, I mean, just even probably 10 years younger than me, people, it was different. People were having different types of family dynamics. They were like, I would hear people say, "Oh, this is my stepdad," or "This is my stepmom," or "My dad doesn't live with me. I don't have a dad," or things like that, or mom.
Yeah, but it also
Yeah.
comes back to that whole stepmom,
Hmm.
stepdad. If you get into a relationship with a person that has children and you know that they already have children, then you
Yeah.
take on that responsibility.
Of course. Yeah.
So it's no longer being a stepmom or a stepdad, especially if the other parent is not in the picture.
I agree. Yeah.
You're a father and or a mother.
Hmm.
So it doesn't. I just can't get on the men of society because women make it hard too,
Yes, I
and it's
agree.
not all women, but like I give a lot of recognition to my older son's mother
Hmm.
because I have him, and that is
Yes.
because she knew that she couldn't take care of the responsibility at that
Yeah.
moment.
Right. Right.
So she did what was right. But there
Yes.
are there are women out here that know that they can't take care of the responsibility, but just because they spite the man, they
Yes.
would rather hurt both than figure out what's the best opportunity or best way to go about a situation.
Yeah.
And that
And
just comes
yeah.
back to anger.
Yes. 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 And that anger is so it clouds your judgment so much when anger gets into the picture of many things.
You're right.
Yeah.
And before we started the show, you said it's from belly to brain. And that right there is something that if you can change that
Yeah.
mindset
Mhm.
and understand that, okay, this is my situation and I don't have to look at myself as weak because I'm asking for help or I'm giving in to give my child a better life. You're actually stronger for that. And most people don't realize that because if you're willing to ask for help, that means you just gave away that prideful emotion and did something that you normally don't do, and then you eventually change your mindset. And when you
Yeah.
allow yourself to change that mindset, you grow. and
Yes.
then you open up more doors to be able to do what needs to be done, whether it's for you, whether it's for the child or the whole family. You know, I've gone through it myself. I've had to change my mindset multiple times within the 4 years that I've been with my wife,
Mm-hmm. Um,
all because of
wow.
everything that
Yeah.
I've gone through.
Yeah. Um, would you like to tell us a little bit more about that, or
Yeah.
I'd, yeah, I'd like to. I'm curious now. So,
Uh, Me personally, I've always had an issue with women.
okay. Mm-hmm.
It's never been consciously, it's always been a subconscious issue.
Yes.
Um, Different things have arisen in my lifetime that
Mm-hmm.
subconsciously didn't allow me to give women a fair shake.
Mm, okay.
Starting with my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she gave me up when I was when I was young, to
Okay.
a family that I didn't even know. It was actually the mother of my preschool teacher.
Oh, wow.
Um, and she was in and out of my life all my life.
Mm,
And for her generation, it was mainly sisters that she had.
okay.
But the brothers that she did have, they treated me and my brother completely different because of the way my mother was raised and the things that my mother was into, the addiction, things like that. So subconsciously, I had an issue with women.
Yeah.
So I
Understand.
had to, me and my wife, we got into a big altercation, and she was about to leave.
Gosh. Yes.
And I had my first panic attack in 35 years, and I needed help.
Yes.
So I reached out, started going to therapy, and realized that between therapy and actually speaking to my godmother, who started out as my preschool teacher,
Yes.
the reason why I am the way I am isn't because I don't love women. I don't
Mm-hmm.
respect women. It's because of what my mother and the other women on my mother's side of the family put me through.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow, that must have been, well, I commend you for your courage to actually talk to us about this, and also that you went to seek help, because it takes a lot of courage to go see someone,
It does.
especially especially because society, nowadays it's a little easier, and when I was growing up, it was a little more difficult. And especially with my culture, I'm originally from Japan, and in Japanese culture, and still, it's better now. But back when I was, yeah, it's still it's still like almost a taboo to say that you're seeing a therapist or you're seeing a counselor. Counselor is a little easier, but people, there's still a social stigma or social gosh, socially not that accepted, whereas here it's a
Oh,
little
trust
easier.
me, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
We may come from different backgrounds, but well, I come from many different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but for a black man,
Yeah.
it's we have to be strong. We have to provide. We
Yes.
have to control our emotions. But what society says is we're weak for going to speak to somebody. And then the ones that we do speak to are our friends who aren't really a positive influence. And they're just like, well, forget that woman or forget that job or,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I completely understand. It's
Yeah.
just now in 2024,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just now starting to see different cultures
Yes.
actually advocating for speaking to someone, whether they want to call it a therapist or a guidance counselor or a mentor. just being able to speak openly about the things that they've either gone through or what they're going through.
Yes. Yes. And that's so important. As human beings, we need to be able to express what we're feeling. And when that expression is held back, it creates a lot of turmoil within us. And I think, especially for children, when children can't speak up, it it creates doubt within themselves that they're, and it just breaks my heart when I think that little children are thinking, well, I can't tell mommy or daddy this, or sister or brother this, because they might think that I'm being silly or I'm being weak or whatever, when they should be able to express who they are, their feelings, their emotions, and it should be respected. Yeah.
It should. I struggle with that every day. Every
Yeah.
day with my 9-year-old, I struggle with it. Uh, my wife has gotten on me plenty of times, like, let him be, you
Yeah.
know. But I explained to him that the color of your skin determines a lot in your life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you have to work twice as hard as they do.
Yeah.
You can
Sadly.
be you can be as smart as them,
Yeah.
but the color of your skin, unfortunately, in today's society,
Yes.
makes it hard for you to really get what you want out of life.
It's true.
I look at myself and I'm like, with all of the talents that I've had and that I have,
Mm-hmm.
I should have been rich already. But that wasn't part of my path, as well
Yes.
as the fact that I've had some hiccups when it comes to the law
Mm-hmm.
being treated unfairly,
Yes.
racial
Yes.
discrimination.
Yes.
So I understand that he's 9, but unfortunately,
Yes.
they're getting younger and younger every day by the abuse,
Yes.
the murder rate, the
Yes.
murder age.
Yes.
And I tell him all the time, look, I understand that you want to play. Trust me, all kids want to play,
Of course. Yes.
but you have to be smarter than them. There's
Yes.
only you and 2 other minorities in your class.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, living in Long Island is definitely a whole different world. And people,
Yes.
I didn't believe it until I lived here.
Yes. Yes. I can imagine. Yeah.
And I tell him this, and I know he still doesn't understand it because he never lived it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand it until I lived it, and I
Yeah.
didn't live it until I moved to Florida.
Ah, okay.
And I was in Florida for 8 years, and I've dealt
Mm-hmm.
with racial discrimination. And then even when I came back to New York, I
Mm.
never thought I would deal with racial discrimination in the state of New York, one of the most diverse states in the United States.
Yeah.
And I dealt with it at a job that I was at.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I know. Well, being a minority myself, and also being double minority because I'm also a woman. It's. I'm telling you, it's real. The discrimination is real, and um, I didn't notice it as much. The Asian discrimination that I was facing or seeing, I didn't realize it as much until my friend who's Chinese American, my best friend, she she pointed it out, and I never grew up with that because I think I told you I was born in South Africa of all places. Who knows, right? I was born in South Africa. I lived in the U.S. as a minority when I grew up here, and then I moved back to Japan. So I felt I was not accepted here in the US because of the way I looked when I was growing up. And like your son, I was maybe the only minority or one of 2 or 3 minorities in my class at the time in the 70s in San Francisco. um, and yeah, even in San Francisco, yeah. And then I moved to Chicago, and I think I think there was another this was an Asian American, two Asian American brothers, and we became fast friends because of our ethnicity. But yeah, when I lived in Chicago, and that was when I was growing up, and the rest are all, Americans. And just for the fact that I look like this, of course, you face
Right.
different things.
And
And
that's
here
why
in New York, yeah, too.
it's a sad world we live in today. And
Yeah.
I thought we were making progress, but it just seems, because now it's not just conscious, it's very subconscious, where people don't
Yeah.
even realize that they're being biased.
Yes.
That,
Yes.
and I even said it to myself. I would rather live in Florida where I know that they're being racist because
Mm-hmm.
they choose to be, and they
Mm-hmm.
consciously know that's what they're doing, where it's
Mm.
subconscious and they don't understand what they're doing.
Hmm. I
And
I could understand that. Yeah.
it's it's a sad world we live in. And I don't see
But
it
I think yeah.
getting any better.
Well, it is, but I think by voicing it like this, by having a platform, by speaking it, people become more aware of it, aware of what's going on. Like you said, just by you saying, that you'd rather live in Florida than here, where in New York, where people subconsciously discriminate, right? Just by that statement alone, people that are viewing it will think, well, I wonder if I'm subconsciously being a bigot or discriminating against people. And it's something that needs to be voiced, I think, so that people can be more aware of who they are, what they're doing. And sometimes it's just so ingrained in different cultures, I think, as well.
It is.
Um,
I caught
yeah.
myself doing it. I caught myself doing it last week, actually. I almost didn't go to my first open mic
Okay.
because it was in a Black community.
Ah.
And it's really sad that I felt like that, but it wasn't really because of a discrimination thing. It was more of a safety thing,
Mm. Okay.
because you have a lot of crime
Yes.
that happens within the Black community, and it's Black against Black.
It
And
is.
that's a
Yeah.
conversation that they really don't want to talk about.
You're right.
I
Yes.
don't take it away. I don't take anything away from the killings of Black men by white officers, but I wrote a poem about it.
Mm-hmm.
How can we expect them to respect us if we can't respect ourselves? We're out here killing each other over the smallest and minute things,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we're supposed to be family.
Yeah.
Whether we have the same last name or not, we're related.
Yeah.
Some way, shape, or form, we are related. So, hey, you stepped on my shoe. Okay, we're going outside. I'm going to shoot you. You're going to jail. And then it's not just the two of you that are hurt. You got two full families that are hurt
Exactly.
and are in pain because of a shoe,
Yeah.
or because of a piece of jewelry or car. $20.
I
It's
know.
not worth it.
No, it isn't. It is not worth it at all.
So consciously, I was just like, I don't know if I really want to go to this show.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of the people, but because of the environment.
Yes.
I live in Long Island,
Yeah,
where
I know.
I've lived in the same place for 4 years, and there's never been a crime in here, at least that I know about.
Right, right.
So to come from my safe haven to go
Yes,
to a place where, one, it's unknown,
right.
and two, you hear about a week prior a 15-year-old killing a 66-year-old man,
Mm-hmm.
gun violence, going into a situation where I could possibly be unsafe
Yeah.
because of something that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a sad, sad feeling, but this is the feeling that other people get.
True.
I've always felt like an outsider
Yeah,
from the day I was given away,
yeah.
from my mother to the fact that my foster family loved me, but because of the skin complexion, I felt like an outsider.
Yes.
I'm light skinned, they're Jamaican, so they're dark skinned.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
living in DC, Maryland, Virginia area for a little bit, going to
Community?
a Hispanic and Black high school
Ah, okay.
for a year and a half, I believe it was,
Uh-huh.
to not fit in with the Hispanic community because, yes, I may look like you, but I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And then being part Black, but I'm not dark enough for you.
Yes.
And then, of course, they say they put color on everything.
Yes.
So black man, brown man, caramel, yellow, white. But in all reality, I came across a video
Mm-hmm.
and it really made me laugh.
Okay.
The guy said, "How do you feel about being a black man?"
Uh-huh.
And he said, "I'm not a black man." He said, "Black is just a color construct." And I said, "Okay." He said, "There's no difference between me and a white person. We're
Mm-hmm.
all different shades of wheat."
Yeah.
And I had to think about it. And then I went and I Googled the like wheat shades. And I was like, you know what? I never thought of it like that. We all come from from wheat.
Yeah.
We're all different shades. So we
Uh-huh.
all come from the same place. So why do we discriminate so much?
I know.
And that was just a way to put it for society.
Yes.
But in all reality, there's no different in the book that we read for the
Mm-hmm.
people that read the Bible.
Exactly.
There's nothing different about it.
Yeah.
So why do we treat other people differently because of their belief in something? Well, your belief doesn't always have to be right.
Yeah.
Your belief is your belief. I
Yeah.
have my opinion, you have your opinion.
Yes.
But instead of allowing somebody to have their opinion, then violence comes into play.
I know. And that's so sad that it has to go to violence, because I think it also is, you don't realize how precious life is until it's taken away from you. And as I've gotten older, I think of course, I think about my own mortality, but I've seen my parents and they're both gone now. Um, but, and I see even my generation, um, a lot of them passing away, classmates. I'm getting to that age where people are getting sick or passing away. And then you start realizing how really fragile the human life is, a human being is, and that life is such a precious thing that we don't respect it enough in a lot of ways.
Agreed. I
Yeah.
completely agree.
And yeah, you just want more awareness so that people can be more recognize how easily it's not like in the video games. I love video games, okay? Don't get me wrong. And I love gore and I love sci-fi and all that. I love zombies, all that, right? I'm a little crazy there, but I love all that. But I know I love all that because I know it's fake,
Right.
and I don't mind watching gore on TV. Like, I don't mind watching Game of Thrones and having someone's head ripped off because that's TV, and I know it's fake. But I think it's that gap between reality and what's fake, right? And I think a lot of it's become blurred in this day and age.
That's because society has made it to where reality TV is what's real.
Ah, you're right.
Not realizing that it's
It's
in the
bad.
word reality TV.
Yeah,
TV is fake.
fake. Yes, yes,
There may be some snippets that are real,
yes.
but it's fake.
Yeah.
It's not, it doesn't say real TV. It says reality TV.
Reality. Yeah. And
We since we were on this topic, I wrote this the other day, if you
uh-huh.
don't mind me sharing it.
Oh no, please share it.
It's
I'd love to hear it.
actually one of the I have my poetry book that I'm actually about to start formatting.
Yay. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's one of the poems that'll be in it. It's
Okay.
called Live to Fight Another Day.
Okay. I'd love to hear it. Yes.
We kill each other, tear our brothers down,
Mm-hmm.
while crying for respect we never found. How can they value us when we destroy our own? A cycle of pain where no seed is sown. I won't deny the blood spilled by the state, the police who crush us beneath their hate. But what if but what of the battles we fight in our streets, where brother turns brother into defeat? This is a conversation we failed to start, a wound in our culture tearing us apart. Put down the guns, let fists be the way. Back in the day, that's how we swayed. Witherspoon said it best in his wise words: win some, lose some, but your voice is heard. You live to fight, you live to see another sunrise, another victory. But now it's bullets that sing the song, and we wonder why respect feels gone. We take from each other, spill the same blood, drowning our hopes in a senseless flood. Where is the unity, the pride, the fire? Instead, we burn our own with blind desire. We ask for justice, for freedom and peace, but how can it come if the violence won't cease? We need to talk to heal these scars before we lose ourselves to endless wars. The fight inside, not out in the streets. The battle is finding peace beneath our feet. So put the guns down and fight with your mind. That's the way we rise. That's the way we'll find a path to rebuild, a way to stand tall, live to fight another day, or we'll lose it all.
Wow. I agree 100%. That's so beautiful. And it's so heartfelt. Um, and it's true. You have to be able to stay here to stand another day so that the message can be relayed to others. And gun violence, yeah, amazing poem, Eric says. I agree. It's very amazing.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, we need to be able to use our minds to fight. And I don't think people realize how dangerous guns really are. Like I said, with the video games, you're playing with something that seems so real, but That's a game.
Yeah, you can't come back from that.
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
think it's
hmm
I was raised a different way.
yeah,
You've said it multiple times, back in the 70s, but even in the 90s,
yeah,
I was raised that if I had an issue, as men, we fight, we shake hands, whether we talk or not.
hmm
That's how I was raised.
yeah,
But society has strayed from that to where they just want to take each other's lives, but they don't realize, yes, I may take your life, but I'm also taking mine,
yeah,
because now I'm exactly where they want us to be, locked up in a cage and never free again.
yeah, yeah. And it's,
Instead of being on the streets where we belong, taking care of our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, we're locked in a cage for 23 hours with one day on the rec yard, having somebody tell me, hey, you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning for count, and then go to eat, and then you have to go work in the kitchen for free, then you have to go to the bathroom and shower when they want to. Who wants to live like that? And I did it for 18 months and I'll never do it again.
yeah,
And I
yes.
did that for 18 months behind a load of crap,
So sorry.
behind racism and discrimination.
Yeah, I can
So if
imagine.
I don't want to do that for 18 months, I couldn't even imagine the men who are doing it for 20 and 30 years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
And that's where it seems like they want to be.
yeah. It's almost like it's become like a badge of, I hate to say it, like a badge of honor in some ways. And it's sad. And I think almost like we want people to know the reality of, like you were saying, it doesn't just hurt you, the person that's going to be locked up in the cage, right? It hurts everyone, their loved ones, anyone that their lives touched. And people may not realize that their life, their existence does touch some people.
Agreed.
Even if you don't feel that way, your presence does touch people in one way or another.
See, I can understand. I can understand that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I dealt with it for a while, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I say up until maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years ago,
Okay.
of where I've always felt that my presence wasn't wanted. But that was an insecurity within myself
Yes.
and the trauma that I dealt with for
Yes.
34 years. Even still till today, I still see that, but I'm at this point of just shedding all of it,
Yeah.
because the only thing it's doing is hurting myself. And
Yes.
when
Yeah.
you hurt yourself, you tend to hurt the people who actually do care about you.
So true.
Facebook, for example,
Yes.
my mother's aunt,
Mm-hmm.
she watches everything that I do.
Oh.
And it's it's not a good thing for me, but she watches everything that I do.
Okay.
Uh, my mother's sister actually followed me on Facebook, and in my
Okay.
mind, it got me angry at one point, because I'm like, why now? Is it because you see that I don't need you? Is it because you see that I'm starting to shed those demons that you allowed to be in my life? Or is it because you're trying to make amends?
Yeah.
These are a bunch of questions that people actually think about when they have people who have hurt them.
Yes.
pop into their lives in one way or another.
Yes.
So I understand that feeling of never being wanted, never people not wanting you around. I
Yeah.
felt like that all my life.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, those people who don't want you around or have made you feel unwanted, your success will be the biggest reward for yourself.
Yes.
And it will show them that I did not need you. You put me through all of these trials and tribulations, and the only thing it did was make me stronger.
It's true.
So
So
then who's angry after that? You're not. It'll be them because they didn't do what they really wanted to. They wanted to break you.
yes.
And if you allow somebody to break you, that means you allow them to have that power over you.
Very true.
And once you change your mindset and realize that they don't have the power, you do,
Yes.
your world starts to change.
Yes. Exactly.
2024 has been one of the best years of my life.
Wow.
Between honor society,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 36-year-old student. I took off this semester because of everything going on.
Right. Right.
I hold a 3.86 GPA, honor society,
Yes.
dean's list.
Yes.
Now I'm also a published author.
Yes.
I have a children's series for my youngest son that's
Uh-huh.
based on him.
Okay.
He's a wild one. I have my poetry book.
yes.
I have a book that I plan on launching right before Black History Month. It's about mental health in the Black community,
Oh,
especially in Black men.
that's yeah.
I have the sequel to Entangled Desires.
Okay.
That'll
Wow.
be published around Marches. I want to hit the springtime with a
Yes.
new, as well as these shows, these interviews,
Mm-hmm.
the open mics.
Yes.
I've just been allowing doors to close and open for me
Yes. 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 It's beautiful.
because those doors that close, they don't always have to be bad doors.
Right.
Like I officially quit my job on Saturday,
Oh, wow.
and the best thing I could have did was to take the power back.
Yes. Yes.
Being treated unfairly by a manager who I don't understand why.
Yeah.
When you get compliments from your guests saying this guy is amazing,
Right.
he gave us an experience that we'll never forget, why would you treat that person like that? But I realized that as you grow within yourself and you better yourself, jealousy and envy
Yes.
comes out in different ways.
Yes. And that's a reflection on them, not on you.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
with those type of situations, it comes back to be true to yourself and appreciate yourself.
Yes.
Because when you learn to appreciate yourself,
Yes.
you don't need to sit here and make yourself feel like I need this job, because there are other places that will appreciate your experience
Yes.
in whatever industry you are in.
Yes. Exactly. Wow. Such a wise statement. I totally agree with you 100%. And it's really about doing what's going to be best for you, because we tend to forget that. And society has always taught us that thinking about yourself is selfish, when in fact it's not, because we have
It's not. I agree.
responsibilities to ourselves.
Because if our
And
mental health and if
yes,
our body is not strong, how can
yes,
you be strong for other people?
yes. And it all comes back to that, the famous what was it, air mask story in the airplane, oxygen mask, right? In the airplanes, they tell you when that oxygen mask falls in front of you, put it on yourself first, then put it on somebody else. Yep.
Exactly.
So,
Because
and
you
yeah,
have to think about yourself first before you can help somebody else.
exactly, because
And
it's
you
like
have to be able
yeah,
to appreciate yourself.
yes, yes, it's
Self-love and
oh
appreciation is the most
yes,
important thing in anybody's life.
yes, thank you,
Because when you start to love yourself, you don't allow other people to step on you or
yes,
mistreat you.
yes, yes, thank you,
Love
yes,
yourself, be true to yourself.
yes,
Hey, if you want to own being an angry man, then own it. But be true to yourself and love the person that you are owning.
I agree, that is so true, because you are you, the only person that knows you best is you,
Right.
and it's sometimes it's not fun to look inside to see what kind of person you've become, but the good thing is you can always change too, you know it, by working on yourself. Self-love, yeah, self-love and appreciation, number one. That's what Eric says, and it's so true,
Agreed.
because self-love is so important. And I think a big shift for me happened when I started to do the mirror exercise and started telling myself, I love you. And at first I was like, what? I can't do something like that. And a lot of people have that, like, go like this to that. But, it's almost like a challenge. I always say to people, try it for even just once a day. Try it first thing in the morning and see how you feel. And you might start feeling a little love for yourself, and then keep on going with that, because consistency is important with something like that.
I completely agree. And
And yeah,
even just telling yourself, you got this.
yeah, yeah,
Today's your day.
yeah. And believe in yourself, because someone believed in you at one point, or else you wouldn't be here right now. To a lot of people, wouldn't be where they are if somebody didn't believe in them at one point or another.
Agreed.
So remember that feeling and start believing in yourself, because you'll never lose that if you
No,
start
because
believing in yourself. Yeah.
hey, you can lose your car tomorrow, you can lose
Yep.
your house tomorrow, you can lose your job tomorrow.
Yep.
But the one thing that's always a constant is you.
Yes.
Because it was
Yes.
your job, it was your car, it was
Yes.
your house.
Yes.
So when you change
Exactly.
your mindset,
Yes. Yep.
you can change and alter your reality.
Yes. 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 I love that. Thank you, Tyree. And we're coming down to 2 minutes, so well, I'm going to have to wrap this up a little bit. I really thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you today. Now, where can our viewers find you? Where can they purchase your book and get more information about your other
I was
books and projects?
I was very happy about what my wife found the other day.
Yes.
You can find Entangled Desires by Tyree Whitworth on Amazon, Barnes and
Woohoo!
Noble,
Okay.
Penguin Books,
Okay.
eBay,
Mm-hmm.
or you can go to my private page, which is TyreeWrites.com,
Okay, Tyree
or
writes.
you can follow me on Instagram at officially Tyree,
Mm-hmm.
or Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
or should I say X, formerly
Yes.
known as Twitter,
Yes.
at Tyree Writes underscore 7501,
Okay.
or on Facebook, Tyree Whitworth.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Tyree. It was a pleasure having you. I'd love to continue this conversation elsewhere, but thank you so much for being here today and talking to our viewers.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Of course. And everyone, so this show can be heard on Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thank you.